Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're not subscribed already, then make sure to click the subscription button so that you can get my videos in your subscription box every time I upload, which is every Wednesday and Saturday at 11 AM GMT. I'm not gonna lie, I've been struggling with coming up with different video ideas of what to film, especially because recently I've been kind of busy. I had my family come and visit me as a surprise, which was really lovely, but it also meant that I sort of had to figure out what to film now, something that I could film really easily. I haven't really been doing any reading vlogs recently, so a video that a lot of newer booktubers do is the BOOKTUBE newbie tag. I just thought I would do it so that you guys could get to know a little bit more about me when it comes to reading. I've already done a reading habits video, which was my first ever video, so I will link that somewhere. And I just thought I would do this BOOKTUBE newbie tag just to give a little bit of insight into me as a reader, why I decided to create this channel, and there's some other questions. Actually, before I start this video, I'm actually just gonna give you a little announcement. I, along with some of my friends, both here on BookTube but also on Bookstagram, I'm going to be doing a live stream this Saturday. Hopefully, we're thinking at 12 PM GMT. Obviously, I would love for you guys to stream it, to watch it while we're doing this live stream. It would be really fun. It's my first ever live stream that I've ever done. It's going to be really interesting to try and figure it out. I hope that you can't hear this. That'd be so annoying. I don't like it. This whole thing started off as a few of us wanting to meet up online and talk about books and what we're reading, potentially have some monthly or every second month book picks for this club, and then I thought that I could just as well stream it, seeing as I have this YouTube channel. So if anyone's interested in following along, we're going to be doing some reading sprints, which is something that I really enjoy doing. So hopefully there's some people that want to watch it. I will make sure to put some sort of like announcement thingy, or however you do that, here on YouTube. I will also be properly announcing it on my Instagram. So I'm just going to start with these questions because I've already been talking for so long and I haven't even started the questions. The first question is, why did you start this channel? Essentially, the main reason that I started this channel was to become a bigger part of the BookTube community. I've been watching videos and following people that post bookish content for the last 3 or 4 years, I would say, and I haven't been like, I wasn't the biggest reader growing up, but when I got into my teenage years, particularly when I was about 14 or 15, I started really getting into reading, and along with that I also started watching a lot of BookTube. It's just a way of sort of connecting people and seeing that there are people that actually have the same hobbies as you. When it comes to things like reading, it's not something that people shout about a lot in real life. I don't know a lot of people that like reading in real life, so it was just really lovely to see that there was this big community and everyone's so lovely in this community. So I just wanted to be a bigger part, and I also want to use my channel to inspire other people that maybe are not that into reading or have been into reading and then have sort of fallen out of love with it, to start reading again, because it's just such an amazing thing. Question 2 is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? I'm not going to say that anything about me is super unique or super fun. I mean, I'm just trying to be the most authentic version of myself that's possible, so I guess that's sort of what I would bring, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily fun and unique. Even if you read exactly the same genres and all your favourite books are exactly the same and all the books you don't like are exactly the same as someone else, everyone is unique in themselves, everyone is different, so every single person that starts a BookTube channel is adding something. I, as an individual, don't bring anything super unique aside from the fact that I am me, and these are my opinions and this is how I feel. Question 3 is, is, what are you most excited about for this new channel? As I said before, I'm just super excited to try and connect with loads of different people that also love reading. Even if it's just 1 or 2 people that are inspired to pick up a book because of me, that's enough for me. Like, honestly, I'm not looking to become super famous. I'm not looking to make money off of this. I just wanted something to do. I just needed a hobby that wasn't just something that I sit and do by myself. Even though this is something that I do by myself, at the same time it's a way for me to connect with lots of different people. So I think that's the thing that I'm most excited about, is hopefully this channel growing and being full of people that want to talk to me and want to connect with me, because that's just, I think, what every human being is looking for, and they do it in different ways, and this is just my way of trying to connect with people, and it's not necessarily what everyone does and what everyone wants to do, but this is just one way that I thought was feasible for me and something that I would enjoy at the same time. Question 4 is, why do you love reading? And I mean, I think the question is more, why do I not? Wait, what? I don't know what I'm saying. I think an easier question to answer would probably be what things do you not like about reading, because I love reading for so many reasons. I guess the main thing for me about reading is the fact that it's just a great form of escapism, and reading about other people's problems puts things into perspective, and it makes you realise that you are so much more privileged, or at least for me. Obviously I can't speak for everyone, but for me personally, it makes me realise how privileged I am, how lucky I am in so many different aspects, and it's also just a great way to learn about different types of people that you have not necessarily met before, or you don't really understand. There's a lot of things in life that I could never understand from a personal perspective, but I can try and read from people's perspectives what it's like for them, and through that I can get some sort of understanding of different issues and different problems that people face. Book. Question number 5 is, what book or series got you into reading? I don't actually think I can answer this question, because honestly my memory when it comes to reading as a child is not very good. I mean, just my memory in general from before I was like 13 or 14 is not that great, but I do know that as a child I did like to read. It wasn't something that I spent loads of time doing, but it was something that I definitely enjoyed. So I grew up in the UK, and at least in the area that I lived, and I think the whole of the UK, at least the whole of England, does this. Essentially the libraries have this program that they do where during the 6 weeks, it's usually 6 weeks of summer holidays, as a kid you can try and read 6 books from the library, and once you've successfully read 6 books you get some sort of certificate and like a little medal or something, I think. And I used to do that as a kid. I know that I did it at least a couple of times, and I think that's probably where my love of reading originally started. But there's not a specific series or book that I think of that made me really love reading. I think it's just a long process of getting to the point where at the age of 14 or 15 I just absolutely fell in love with it and started reading a lot more. Question number 6 is, what questions would you ask your favourite booktubers? And I don't really have any questions. I feel like this is a bit of an odd question to answer. I don't really have any questions. I would definitely sort of say to them, thank you for doing what you do, essentially. Thank you for inspiring me to pick up different books, to go outside of my comfort zone when it comes to reading. There's not really any questions that I have. Question number 7 is something along the lines of, which challenges associated with starting a new booktube channel do you think will be the hardest to overcome? And I can answer this from personal experience, because at this point I've already had a booktube channel for the past 3 weeks or something like that, and I've noticed that Obviously my first video probably got the most attention, and then it sort of just started going downhill, which, like, I understand, that's just the way things are. It's kind of disheartening. It would be really nice if there was more people interacting, more people commenting, but I'm sure if I stick at this, it will get easier. And the thing is, even if I'm just making these videos for myself, just to watch them back when I'm old, because everything stays on the internet forever. Even if I'm just making these videos for myself, then it's completely fine. The main goal is not to get as many people watching these videos, it's purely to find people to make these videos for myself, but also to find people that really want to connect with me, which is not reflected in the amount of views that I get. Question number 8, I've sort of answered, kind of. It's when did you start reading? As I said, I'm not quite sure. I think properly reading probably at some point during primary school. I know that I read books as a kid because there's quite a few books that I can name that I read as a kid, and oh my god, I'm gonna do a video where I read all the books that I've still got that I read as a kid. I used to read loads of Jacqueline Wilson books. I used to read the Mallory Towers series by Enid Blyton. But if you guys want to see that, if you want to see me reading some of my childhood favourites, then make sure to give this video a like and comment down below or something like that. But yeah, I don't actually know exactly when I started reading. Probably when I was relatively young, and then again I had a second wave of loving reading when I was about 15. Question 9 is where do you read? You can find the answer to that in my first video. Basically, I read more or less anywhere. If I'm in a situation where I have nothing to do, even if it's in public and I have a book with me, then I'll read. But mainly it would be at home, because that's where you will most likely find me, because even before the whole coronavirus pandemic, I was a homebody, so if I could be at home, I would be at home. At home, reading is usually, I mean, at the moment it's usually in my chair, which is behind me over there, or in my bed. Question 10 and question 11, I'm just gonna like throw them together because I feel like they're sort of similar. Question 10 is what kind of books do you like to read? Question 11 is what does your book collection look like? And I guess I could show you, but it's just kind of a mess, and I haven't got all my books with me. A lot of them are at home with my parents, so I'm just going to answer these questions together. Essentially, I like to read lots of different stuff. Mainly thrillers and horror. That's sort of my favourite two genres, I'd say. Anything that's like got creepiness to it. So I'm really interested in true crime. I'm really interested in particularly serial killers and psychopathy and sociopathy and gore and blood. And I mean, I'm studying medicine, and I think the thing that I'm most looking forward to is actually being able to dissect a cadaver to see how everything works in the body, see how everything is put together. But I mean, that's completely beside the point. I'm just trying to prove the point that I like things that slightly disturbing, disgusting. So essentially horror and thrillers that maybe are a bit shocking, have got some blood and some gore to them. I really love Stephen King. I've mentioned that before. I've even got a whole video dedicated to all the books that I've read by Stephen King. But on the other hand, I also like literary fiction and a little bit of contemporary. I mean, I don't read them as much as horror and thrillers, but I also really enjoy them. And sometimes fantasy and sci-fi as well. So it is sort of just a lot of stuff, as long as it's under the umbrella of fiction. I don't read a lot of non-fiction, but it is something that I am wanting to get more into. Especially I want to get into reading more true crime books because I love true crime so much. So that's sort of what my collection looks like in words. It is mainly just horror and thriller, and then a little bit of literary fiction and contemporary books, and then a little bit of fantasy and sci-fi, and a tiny little section with some classics, because I don't read a lot of classics. So I've now answered all the questions that I could find that have been associated with this BOOKTUBE newbie tag. As I said before, if you're not already subscribed, then make sure to click the subscribe button because it just helps me so much. It makes me so happy every time I get a new subscriber. I feel like I've got a new friend. Everything's great. Like this video, that's also massive support for me. Share this video with your friends if you feel like it. That would be great. If you want to share this on Instagram, if you want to follow me on Instagram and share my Instagram page, then that would be great as well. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in my next one.